Well, Tanya and Rob, it's been 4 days since that shooting, and a big break came yesterday when police believe they found a Jeep that Eric Frein was driving. They say inside they found camo face paint, a black hoodie, and shell casings, but he was nowhere to be found.
This fella is extremely dangerous.
31-year-old Eric Frein faces murder charges after police say they found a Jeep he was driving submerged in a pond just 2 miles from the Blooming Grove State Police Barracks. Inside, his social security card and matching shell casings.
Every law enforcement agent in this country, trooper, policeman, constable, will be looking for this guy. And it's going to be very difficult for him to hide.
On Friday night, Corporal Byron Dixon was shot and killed outside the Blooming Grove State Police Barracks. Trooper Alex Douglas seriously injured. Frein, police say, was in the woods, shooting at both of them. At a press conference today, police say it doesn't come as a surprise Frein is a suspect. He's told friends and posted online about how he wanted to commit mass murder and kill police. In court documents, Frein's father says his son was a skilled shooter and, quote, doesn't miss. Tonight, though, one trooper continues to recover, another soon to be laid to rest. A community mourns as a manhunt moves nationwide to find this accused cop killer.
You can believe that this will be the top manhunt in the United States from this moment forward.
He was a Pennsylvania state trooper, soldier of the law, who, if need be, laid down his life as others have done, rather than swerve from the path of duty. That's a promise the father of these 2 little boys made as they follow his flag-draped casket into a Scranton cathedral.
You make a man the name of your servant.
Corporal Brian Dixon was 38 years old, a life cut short after a horrific ambush. A brother to these men and women from across the country, a close friend to those inside.
Impeccable is defined as behavior, performance, or appearance in accordance with the highest standards of propriety. I can think of no better word to describe my best friend.
They reflect on their hero, a Marine, a Penn State grad, a family man, and a dedicated officer.
His life is going to have an impact on generations to come. His was a life well lived. And that's really all of us and any of us can hope for.
Godspeed, Hammer. We love you, and we miss you.
Outside, a sea of 1,000+ salutes.
Every officer on our job owes it to other departments around this area anytime they go through any kind of an emotional strain like this to lend our support. It's basically paying it forward.
It was gut-wrenching. It was heartbreaking. And again, it was moving at the same time.
A final farewell to a man survived by his wife and 2 kids.
How do you tell your kids that Daddy's not coming home?
A man who made his duty to be of service to anyone who may be in danger and distress.
Remember him in heaven. That's what I would tell the family.
Once you're part of the PSP family, you are forever part of the PSP family.
Come dinner time, it's the food that brings us together. Come tragedy, it's the support that helps us heal.
It doesn't matter if we live in Linglestown. We can still reach out and help people in Blooming Grove.
It's been 11 days now since these 2 state police troopers were ambushed. Corporal Brian Dixon shot and killed. Trooper Alex Douglas critically injured.
Scary. Most of our husbands go out to work and we assume that they're going to come home safely, and that's not always the case.
We wanted to do more than just send a card.
Dawn Packer plans to donate 10% of all of her sales from her pizza shop to the troopers' families.
These 2 troopers were someone's son, someone's father, someone's husband.
Her husband works for state police. He coached Trooper Douglas not long ago.
The fear never goes away. You're always worried.
Meanwhile, a couple hours north in Monroe County, state police say they're hot on the trail of Eric Frein, the so-called survivalist accused of shooting the troopers from the dense woods. He's still at large as troopers pour in from all over to help find him. Carrie Lang's husband is one of them, and she hasn't talked to him much lately.
Just enough to check in and let us know that they're okay, and they're not, going to give up until they succeed in catching him.
I leave it up to God is how it all is going to end, but I pray for the best and that no one else gets hurt.
Well, Tanya, I'm standing in those woods where police saw a man walking yesterday. These woods here, and it prompted a big search. And today there is a lot of police activity around here. Several cruisers out there on the roads. We saw some canines go back into the woods. But as far as that man police saw yesterday, he disappeared. And now the search for Eric Frein continues.
We're ready for it to be done.
You'll find these blue ribbons hanging up as a show of respect to police.
Well, I actually kind of like the police around. I feel more secure knowing that they're here in the area.
We came up for a getaway vacation with two of our neighbors.
And they're not the only ones getting away, as the suspected cop killer, Eric Frein, remains at large.
He's affected a huge community. He needs to be taken in. Whatever it takes.
A canine searches through the woods today, just a day after an intense search here in Monroe County. We've learned a police officer saw a man walking in the woods yesterday afternoon, a man who could have been Eric Frein. It was a massive search effort, and canines quickly picked up a scent and they traced it for 200 yards. But as soon as they reached the water, they lost the scent and no one was found. It's day 24 now after a trooper was shot and killed and laid to rest. A killer on the loose who police believe is leaving behind a trail of evidence in these deep, rugged, and rocky lands. Neighbors hear the helicopters.
All the time, all night.
They see the police cars.
All the time.
It's a new way of life.
It's very strange.
No huntings allowed as parents say school buses are going back to their normal routes.
You still kind of jump every time you hear a loud noise, especially at night.
Folks here go on with life, more police than ever, and they hope Eric Frein will soon be captured.
Maybe today. I pray every day.
Every day.
Every day.
You've been up there ever since this search started. How has the mood changed? Is it pretty noticeable as you drive through the town and just see the people out there?
Absolutely. You know, on my way here, because I've become friends with so many people up here in Canadensis, where Eric Frein lives and where most of the search was happening. I befriended this one guy named Joe. He owns a pizza shop there. I called him tonight. I'm like, Joe, how are you feeling tonight? He goes, Kyle, we are so relieved. He said that the TV was on in his pizza shop. There were people there, saw the news, they cheered. They are breathing a big sigh of relief tonight, knowing that Eric Frein, the man that has been on the run now for several weeks, considered armed and dangerous, is captured. See, this is a day so many people have been waiting for. Some actually thought it would never happen. Eric Frein inside that courthouse facing a judge, and when she was explaining the charges against him, she asked him, "Sir, do you understand the nature of these crimes?" And with little emotion, Eric Frein said, "Yes, I do."
Eric, are you sorry?
This is the man thousands of searchers have been looking for. It's been 7 weeks, and now finally, Eric Frein is leaving the courtroom, heading to jail. And it was inside this courthouse where Frein formally heard the several charges against him.
This was not a result of a tip or a sighting. This was a result of the ongoing pressure put on Frein by law enforcement.
Last night, around 6 o'clock, U.S. Marshals found him at an abandoned airport hangar in Monroe County.
Eric, did you kill that trooper?
This morning, Eric Frein, police say, began taking his steps towards justice for the families of fallen Corporal Brian Dixon and Trooper Alex Douglas, recovering today after the deadly ambush 49 days ago.
Why'd you do it?
It's said that the eyes lead to the soul.
They do.
Amy Greiner lives nearby. She was inside the courtroom.
I thought he probably had no feelings in there.
I've characterized his actions in the past as pure evil, and I would stand by that.
State police continuing their investigation. They say Frein's talking to them, but they won't comment about a motive. And despite the scrapes and cuts on his face, police say Frein was taken without incident.
We know that he moved around. Hopefully we'll be able to determine how long he stayed in what locations as this unfolds.
I wanted to cry, and I don't know why I wanted to cry about it, but I was glad that society got what they wanted. They wanted him caught.
And 31-year-old Eric Frein could face the death penalty. For now, he is locked up right here in Pike County. Reporting live, I'm Kyle Rogers, CBS 21 News.